Chen had been married to Derek Walsh for 4 years, and for 4 years his family had made it clear she would never be good enough. Not pretty enough, not successful enough, not white enough. They never said it directly to her face. The Walshes were too polished for that, too aware of how things looked. But Maya heard it in the pauses, saw it in the glances, felt it in every interaction that left her feeling small and unwelcome. And every Thanksgiving, it got worse. This year, standing in her bathroom on Thanksgiving morning, Maya stared at the tiny wireless microphone in her palm. It was smaller than a button, designed for content creators and podcasters, with a range of 200 feet and crystal clear audio quality. She'd ordered it 3 weeks ago with a very specific purpose in mind. This year, she was going to document everything. Every cruel comment made when she left the room. Every passive-aggressive dig disguised as concern. Every laugh at her expense when they thought she couldn't hear. This year, the Walshes were going to face exactly who they were. Maya clipped the small receiver to her bra strap, hidden completely under her burgundy sweater. The microphone itself she tucked into her pocket, activated and recording. "Maya, you almost ready?" Derek called from the bedroom. "Mom wants us there by 2. Of course she does, Maya thought. Patricia Walsh ran Thanksgiving like a military operation. Specific arrival times, assigned dishes, a seating chart, and about 1,000 unspoken rules that Maya somehow always managed to break. "Almost," Maya called back, checking her reflection one more time. She looked good, professional but warm, the kind of outfit that said, "I'm trying," without looking like she was trying too hard. A balance she'd learned to strike after years of Patricia's subtle fashion critiques. The microphone was completely invisible. Perfect. Maya took a deep breath and walked out to meet her husband. The Walsh family home was in Westchester, a sprawling colonial with perfect landscaping and the kind of understated wealth that whispered instead of shouted. Derek's parents, Patricia and Gordon, had bought it 30 years ago when Gordon's law practice took off. Now it was worth millions, and Patricia never let anyone forget it. Derek pulled into the circular driveway behind his brother's Tesla. Maya's stomach tightened. Connor was already here, which meant his wife Bethany was too. Bethany, blonde, thin, from the right kind of family, who Patricia treated like the daughter she'd always wanted. "You okay?" Derek asked, noticing Maya's expression. "Fine," Maya lied. Derek squeezed her hand. "I know my family can be a lot, but they mean well." Maya bit back her response. This was Derek's blind spot. His complete inability to see how his family treated her. Or maybe it was willful ignorance. She'd stopped trying to figure out which. They walked up to the front door, Maya carrying the pumpkin pie she'd made from scratch. Patricia's assigned dish, naturally, something Maya could handle. Patricia opened the door before they could knock, already dressed in cream cashmere that probably cost more than Maya's monthly salary as a graphic designer. "Derek, darling." Patricia hugged her son, then turned to Maya with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Maya, you made it." As if Maya might have gotten lost on the way to a house she'd been to dozens of times. "Happy Thanksgiving, Patricia," Maya said, handing over the pie. Patricia took it, glancing at the lattice crust. "Oh, how rustic. I'll just put this with the others." Translation: "It doesn't meet my standards, but I'll be polite about it." Maya's hand went instinctively to her pocket, feeling the microphone, recording. Getting everything. Inside, the house was magazine perfect, fall decorations that looked professionally arranged. The dining table already set with china that had been in Gordon's family for generations. Classical music playing softly in the background. Connor and Bethany were in the living room with Gordon. Connor, older than Derek by 3 years, a corporate attorney like his father, stood when they entered. "Little brother," he pulled Derek into a hug, then gave Maya a polite nod. "Maya." "Hi, Connor." Maya smiled, used to being the afterthought. Bethany air-kissed near Maya's cheeks. "Love your sweater. So cozy and comfortable." Maya had learned to decode Bethany's compliments. Comfortable meant, "You look frumpy." "Thanks. You look great, too." And Bethany did, wearing a designer dress that probably cost more than Maya's rent, her hair and makeup flawless. "Can I get you something to drink?" Gordon asked from his chair. Wine? Scotch? Wine would be great, Derek said. Just water for me, thanks, Maya added. Patricia appeared from the kitchen. Maya, would you mind helping me with the appetizers? I know how you love to be useful. There it was, the first dig. Suggesting Maya needed to be useful to have value. Of course, Maya said, following Patricia into the kitchen. The kitchen was Patricia's domain. Sub-zero appliances, marble countertops, copper pots hanging from a rack that had probably never been used for actual cooking since Patricia employed a chef for most meals. I need these cheese plates arranged, Patricia said, gesturing to several platters. Not too artistic? We're going for elegant simplicity. Translation, don't embarrass me with your middle-class aesthetic. Maya began arranging cheese and crackers, while Patricia checked on something in the oven. So, Patricia said, her tone casual in that dangerous way, Derek mentioned you're up for a promotion at work? I am, actually, senior art director. It would be a significant step up. How nice, though I imagine the hours would be quite demanding. Patricia closed the oven and turned to face Maya. Have you and Derek talked about family planning? You're not getting any younger. Maya was 32. We've talked about it. It's just that Bethany's pregnant. Patricia said it casually, but watched Maya's face carefully. 12 weeks. They're telling the family today at dinner. Maya felt the words like a slap, not because she was jealous. She and Derek weren't ready for kids yet, but because she knew what was coming. Knew how Patricia would spend the rest of the day comparing her to golden child Bethany, who was doing everything right. That's wonderful, Maya said, keeping her voice steady. I'm happy for them. Are you? Patricia's smile was sharp. I just worry that Derek might feel left behind. Connor's making partner, having a baby, really settling down. And Derek's still... She trailed off meaningfully. Still what? Well, married to his job, not really building a life. I sometimes wonder if he made the right choices. The implication was crystal clear. If Derek had married someone else, someone like Bethany, his life would be on track. Maya's hand moved to her pocket again, making sure the microphone was still recording. Oh, it was, every word. I should get these appetizers out, Maya said, picking up a platter. Of course, dear. And Maya? Patricia touched her arm, her voice dropping to a confidential tone. That sweater really does make you look a bit matronly, just for future reference. The afternoon continued in the same vein. Maya moved through the house with her hidden microphone, collecting evidence of the Walshes. Cruelty, like someone documenting a crime scene. In the dining room, she overheard Connor and Derek talking. I don't know, man, Connor said. Don't you ever think about what your life would be like if you'd married someone more ambitious? Someone who could really be a partner in building something. Maya's ambitious. She's a graphic designer, Derek. It's not exactly a serious career. Bethany was a consultant before she decided to focus on family. That's the kind of woman who can really support you. Maya, arranging silverware nearby, kept her face carefully neutral, even as rage burned in her chest. In the kitchen, she caught Patricia and Bethany. I'm just so grateful Connor found you, Patricia said, someone who understands what this family represents. Who fits? Oh, Patricia, you're so sweet. Bethany lowered her voice. I have to say, I do feel for Derek sometimes. It must be hard for him at family events. Always having to explain, well, Explain what? Patricia asked, though her tone suggested she knew exactly what. The cultural differences. I mean, we're very progressive, obviously, but there's something to be said for shared background and values. Maya's hands clenched around the water glasses she was carrying. The microphone caught every word. Later, when Maya excused herself to use the bathroom, she heard them in the living room below. She's been gone for 20 minutes, Patricia said. What is she doing up there? Probably calling her family, Bethany offered, though I can't imagine what they'd talk about. Don't her parents barely speak English? Maya's parents were both professors. Her mother had a PhD in molecular biology. Her father taught economics. They spoke perfect English, along with Mandarin, French, and Spanish. I just wish Derek would wake up, Patricia said. See that he could do so much better. Connor's wife is pregnant, successful, from a good family, and Derek's wife is, well, she tries. I'll give her that. Gordon's voice. Patricia, that's enough. Maya's a perfectly nice girl. Nice isn't enough, Gordon. This family has standards. Maya stood in the hallway upstairs, listening to them tear her apart, and felt something shift inside her. She'd spent 4 years trying to win these people over. 4 years of perfect pies and appropriate outfits, and biting her tongue. 4 years of letting them make her feel like she wasn't enough. Well, they were about to learn exactly what she was capable of. Thanksgiving dinner was served at 5 p.m. sharp, everyone seated according to Patricia's carefully planned arrangement. Maya was, as usual, at the far end of the table, literally and figuratively on the outside. The meal was beautiful, the food exquisite, thanks to Patricia's chef, though Patricia accepted compliments as if she'd cooked it herself. Connor proposed a toast to family that felt pointed. Bethany announced her pregnancy to appropriate exclamations of joy. Maya ate quietly, watching them all. Watching Derek laugh with his brother, oblivious to how they'd been talking about his wife. Watching Patricia play the gracious matriarch. Watching them perform their perfect family tableau. And all the while, the microphone recorded everything. "Maya, you're awfully quiet," Gordon observed during a lull in conversation. "Just enjoying the meal," Maya said. "Everything is beautiful, Patricia." "Well, thank you, dear, though I notice you barely touched your turkey." Patricia's eyes swept over Maya's plate. "Watching your figure? That's probably wise." Maya was a size 8. Patricia had made comments about her weight before, always wrapped in concern, always designed to sting. "Actually," Maya said, setting down her fork, "I was thinking about something else, something I'd like to share with all of you." Derek looked at her, surprised. "What's that?" Maya pulled out her phone. "I made something, a little Thanksgiving reflection. Would you all mind if I played it?" "Oh, how sweet," Bethany said, with barely concealed condescension. "A little video project?" "Something like that." Maya connected her phone to the Bluetooth speaker Patricia kept in the dining room for background music. "It's audio, actually. Just a few minutes." "Well, go ahead," Patricia said, clearly expecting some sentimental montage or amateur podcast. Maya hit play. Patricia's voice filled the room. "I just wish Derek would wake up, see that he could do so much better. Connor's wife is pregnant, successful, from a good family. And Derek's wife is, well, she tries. I'll give her that." The table went silent. Patricia's face drained of color. The recording continued. Bethany's voice. "The cultural differences. I mean, we're very progressive, obviously, but there's something to be said for shared background and values." Bethany's hand flew to her mouth. Connor's voice. "She's a graphic designer, Derek. It's not exactly a serious career. Bethany was a consultant before she decided to focus on family. That's the kind of woman who can really support you." Derek stared at his brother, stunned. More clips played, one after another. Patricia criticizing Maya's appearance, her career, her family. Bethany making thinly veiled racist comments. Connor suggesting Derek had married beneath him. All of it, recorded in crystal clear audio, undeniable. When the recording ended, the silence was deafening. "What?" Patricia's voice shook. "What is this?" "This," Maya said calmly, "is every cruel thing you've said about me today. Every passive-aggressive dig. Every racist comment disguised as concern. Every moment you thought I couldn't hear, or wouldn't matter enough to remember." "You recorded us?" Bethany's voice was shrill. "That's illegal." "Actually, in New York State, only one party needs to consent to a recording. I consented. Me, the person you were talking about." Maya's voice was steady, controlled. "So it's perfectly legal, and I have hours more from previous visits. This was just today's highlights." Derek looked at her, then at his family, his face a mixture of shock and something that might have been horror. "Maya, I didn't know they." "Yes, you did," Maya interrupted. "Maybe not the specifics, but you knew. Every time I told you your mother made me feel unwelcome, and you said she meant well. Every time I mentioned a comment and you told me I was being too sensitive, you knew, Derek. You just didn't want to deal with it." "This is outrageous," Patricia said, finding her voice. "How dare you come into my home and—" "And what?" Maya stood up. "Document your behavior? Prove what you really think of me? Expose the way you treat people when you think they're not listening?" We were having private conversations. About me, mocking my career, my appearance, my family, my race. You don't get to call that private when you're tearing someone apart. Gordon cleared his throat uncomfortably. Now, Maya, I think you're overreacting. Am I? Maya pulled out her phone again. Should I play the part where Patricia called my parents, those people, and wondered if they'd even understand Thanksgiving? Or the time Bethany asked if I got my job through a diversity hire? Or when Connor told Derek I was pretty for an Asian girl? Connor went pale. Bethany started crying. Patricia looked like she might faint. You're destroying this family, Patricia hissed. No, Maya said. I'm just showing you what you actually are. You destroyed yourselves. I just held up a mirror. She looked at Derek, who sat frozen, staring at his plate. I've spent 4 years trying to be perfect for your family. Trying to fit into a space that was never going to accept me, no matter what I did. And you know what the worst part is? It wasn't even about me. I could have been anyone not exactly like Bethany, and they would have treated me the same way. Maya, Derek started. I'm leaving, Maya said. I'll be at Sarah's tonight. We can talk tomorrow about what happens next. But I'm done. Done pretending this is normal. Done accepting cruelty as the price of admission to your family. She picked up her purse, the microphone still recording their shocked silence. Happy Thanksgiving, Maya said. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your perfect family dinner. Maya drove to her best friend Sarah's apartment, her hands shaking on the steering wheel. She'd done it. She'd actually done it. Her phone buzzed constantly. Derek calling, texting. She ignored it. At Sarah's, she finally broke down, crying with a mixture of relief and rage and grief for a marriage that might not survive this. You were so badass, Sarah said, hugging her. Playing that recording? Chef's kiss. I just couldn't do it anymore, Maya said. I couldn't keep swallowing their poison and pretending it wasn't killing me. Her phone buzzed again. This time, it wasn't Derek. It was Patricia. Maya almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. What? Patricia's voice was tight, controlled. That recording, you need to delete it. No. Maya, if that gets out, it could destroy Gordon's reputation, Connor's partnership, this family. Is exactly what you made it. Maya finished. And I'm not deleting anything. In fact, I'm keeping it as insurance. Insurance for what? That you'll never treat me or anyone else like that again. Because if I hear one more racist comment, one more passive-aggressive dig, one more attempt to make me feel less than, I'll post the whole thing online. All 4 years of recordings, and I'll tag everyone you know. She heard Patricia's sharp intake of breath. You wouldn't. Try me. Maya hung up. Derek showed up at Sarah's apartment an hour later. She answered the door, and the look on his face told her he'd finally understood. Can we talk? He asked quietly. Sarah disappeared into her bedroom, leaving them alone in the living room. I'm sorry, Derek said. I didn't realize it was that bad. Yes, you did, Maya said, but her voice was gentler now, tired. You didn't want to see it. There's a difference. I heard them after you left. Mom was crying, Connor was furious, Bethany locked herself in the bathroom. He ran his hand through his hair. They're saying you ambushed them, that you were sneaky and manipulative. And what do you think? Derek was quiet for a long moment. I think you did what you had to do to be heard. Because I wasn't listening. None of us were. Maya felt something crack inside her chest. Derek, I can't go back there. I can't keep going to your family events and pretending everything is fine while they tear me apart. I know. He moved closer. I talked to my mom. I told her that if she can't treat you with respect, real respect, not just surface politeness, then I'm done. No more family dinners. No more holidays. We're out. You told her that? I should have told her 4 years ago. Derek's eyes were wet. I should have defended you every time. I should have seen what they were doing. I was a coward, Maya. I chose comfort over standing up for my wife. And I'm so sorry. Maya looked at her husband, the man she'd loved enough to endure 4 years of subtle cruelty, the man who'd finally opened his eyes. What did your mom say? Maya asked. She said I was being dramatic. that you were manipulative, that you'd poisoned me against my own family. Derek's voice hardened. So I played her your recording again, made her listen to it, all of it, and I asked her how she'd feel if someone talked about her mother that way. About her. And she didn't have an answer, just kept saying she didn't mean it that way, that I was taking it out of context. He met Maya's eyes. But she hurt herself, really hurt herself. And I think she's realizing what she's done. Realizing isn't the same as changing. I know. That's why I told her we need space. No contact until she's ready to genuinely apologize to you and commit to being better. Maya felt tears welling up. Derek, I can't make you choose between me and your family. You're not making me choose, I'm choosing. I chose you when I married you, and I should have kept choosing you every day after that. I'm choosing you now. They sat together on Sarah's couch, and Maya felt the weight of 4 years begin to lift. Not completely, not yet, but enough to breathe. What happens now? Derek asked. I don't know, Maya said honestly. I meant what I said. I'm done with your family until things change, really change. So am I. He took her hand. We'll figure it out, together. And if they can't accept that, if they can't treat you the way you deserve to be treated, then we'll build our own family, our own traditions. Your mom's gonna hate me forever. Maybe, but that's her choice, not yours. You didn't do anything wrong, Maya. They did, and it's on them to fix it. 3 weeks later, on a cold December evening, Maya's phone rang with an unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. Maya? It's Gordon, Patricia's husband. Hi, Gordon. I wanted to call because... He paused, cleared his throat. I wanted to apologize, for my part in everything, for not speaking up when I should have, for enabling Patricia's behavior by staying quiet. Maya was surprised. Of all of them, Gordon had been the most neutral, but neutral, she'd realized, was its own kind of complicity. Thank you for saying that. Patricia wants to talk to you, Gordon continued, but I told her she needs to do more than talk. She needs to actually change. We've started family therapy. Patricia, Connor, Bethany, and me. Derek, too, when he's willing to come. Family therapy? That recording was a wake-up call. Not just what we said about you, but what it revealed about how we communicate, how we treat people, the prejudices we've never examined. He sighed. We have a lot of work to do, and I don't know if we'll ever fully fix what we broke with you, but I wanted you to know we're trying. Maya didn't know what to say. Part of her wanted to tell him it was too little, too late. But another part, the part that still loved Derek and wanted him to have a relationship with his family, felt something like hope. I appreciate you telling me, Maya said carefully. You don't have to forgive us, Gordon said. You don't owe us anything. But I hope someday you'll give us a chance to show you we can be better. After they hung up, Maya sat with the conversation, turning it over in her mind. Derek came home from work to find her in the kitchen, making dinner. You okay? He asked, kissing her cheek. Your dad called. Derek stiffened. What did he say? Maya told him about the conversation, about the therapy, about Gordon's apology. Do you think they mean it? Derek asked. Or is this just damage control? I don't know, Maya said honestly, but I think your dad meant it. Whether your mom will actually change, that remains to be seen. You don't have to forgive them, you know, even if they do therapy, even if they apologize. I know, Maya turned to face him. But Derek, I don't want to be the reason you lose your family if they're genuinely trying to do better. You're not the reason, Derek interrupted firmly. They are. Their behavior, their choices, not you standing up for yourself. Maya smiled, feeling that crack in her chest heal a little more. I know. But if they're willing to change, maybe eventually we can find a way forward. Only if you want to, only when you're ready. And only if they prove they've actually changed, not just learned to hide their prejudice better. Deal. Months passed. Patricia sent Maya a letter, handwritten, 5 pages long, apologizing for her behavior, acknowledging her prejudice, explaining the work she was doing to unpack her biases. It wasn't perfect. It had defensive moments. But it was real. Connor reached out through Derek, saying he was ashamed of his comments and understood if Maya never wanted to speak to him again. Bethany sent a brief text. "I'm sorry for the things I said. They were ignorant and hurtful. I'm working on being better." Maya didn't respond to any of them immediately. She needed time, needed to see if the changes would last. Christmas came, and Maya and Derek spent it alone, just the two of them, building new traditions that were theirs, not the Walshes. Then came Valentine's Day, and a package arrived. Inside was a book, So You Want to Talk About Race, by Ijeoma Oluo, with a note from Patricia. "I'm reading this. I should have read it years ago. I have so much to learn. I hope someday you'll let me try to do better by you, Patricia." Maya showed Derek. "What do you think?" "I think it's a start," he said. "A real start." In March, Gordon called again, asking if Maya and Derek would be willing to attend a family therapy session, not as participants, but as witnesses to the work they'd been doing. "No pressure," Gordon said, "but the therapist thinks it might be healing for everyone to have a conversation in a structured, safe environment." Maya thought about it for a week before saying yes. The session was at a therapist's office in Manhattan, neutral territory. Maya walked in holding Derek's hand, her heart pounding. The Walsh family was already there. Patricia looked older, somehow, less imperious. Connor was subdued. Bethany was visibly pregnant now, and looked nervous. The therapist, Dr. Martinez, guided the conversation carefully. Patricia spoke first, her voice shaking. "Maya, I owe you an apology, a real one. Not, 'I'm sorry you felt that way,' or 'I didn't mean it that way.' I'm sorry for how I treated you. For the racist comments, the judgments about your career and your family, the way I made you feel like you'd never be good enough. It was wrong. It was cruel. And it came from my own insecurity and prejudice." She looked directly at Maya. "I thought if I acknowledged how wonderful you are, it would somehow reflect badly on me as Derek's mother. Like I'd failed because he didn't marry someone from our exact background. But the truth is, Derek chose someone extraordinary, and I was too threatened by that to see it." Maya felt tears prick her eyes but stayed silent. Connor went next. "I said things about you that I'm ashamed of. About your career, about Derek marrying you. I was parroting Dad's old attitudes without examining them, and I'm sorry. You've only ever been kind to me, and I repaid that with disrespect." Bethany was crying. "I said horrible things. Racist things. I told myself I wasn't racist because I had Asian friends in college, but that's not how it works. I'm sorry, Maya. I'm working on understanding my privilege and my biases. It's uncomfortable and hard, and I know that's nothing compared to what you've experienced." Dr. Martinez turned to Maya. "Would you like to respond?" Maya took a breath. "I appreciate these apologies. I do. But I need you to understand. Recording that dinner wasn't about revenge. It was about survival. I needed proof that I wasn't crazy, that the things I was experiencing were real. Because every time I tried to talk to Derek about it, I was told I was being too sensitive or misunderstanding." She looked at each of them. "You made me feel like I was the problem. Like if I just tried harder, dressed better, was quieter, was more something, you'd accept me. But the truth is, you never intended to accept me, and that recording forced you to face that." "You were right to make us face it," Patricia said. "I'm grateful you did. Even though it was painful. Even though it exposed things about myself I didn't want to see." "I'm not ready to come back to family dinners," Maya said. "I don't know if I ever will be. But I'm willing to try smaller steps. Coffee, maybe, or a walk in the park. Low-stakes interactions where if it goes badly, I can leave." "That's more than fair," Gordon said. "And I need you to know, I still have those recordings," Maya added. "Not as blackmail, but as protection. If things go back to how they were, if the work you're doing now turns out to be performative, I'm gone. For good this time." "Understood," Patricia said. "And Maya? Thank you. For not giving up on Derek. For giving us a chance to do better. It wasn't perfect. Recovery never is." But slowly, carefully, Maya and Derek built a new relationship with his family, one based on honesty, boundaries, and genuine change rather than surface politeness hiding deep resentment. Patricia joined an anti-racism book club. Connor started calling out prejudice when he heard it in his firm. Bethany volunteered with an Asian American advocacy organization. Were they perfect? No. Did they still make mistakes? Sometimes. But they were trying, really trying. And when Maya got promoted to creative director in June, the position she'd been working toward for years, Patricia sent flowers with a card. Congratulations on your well-deserved success. You inspire me, Patricia. Maya showed Derek the card, surprised to find herself tearing up. She's really trying, Derek said. Yeah, Maya agreed. She really is. That Thanksgiving, a year after the recording, Maya and Derek hosted at their own apartment. Just them and a few friends, no Walshes. But the week after, at Maya's suggestion, they met Patricia and Gordon for coffee. Thank you for meeting us, Patricia said, looking genuinely grateful. Small steps, Maya reminded her. Small steps, Patricia agreed. They talked for an hour. Careful conversation, but real, no passive aggression. No hidden barbs, just people trying to understand each other. As they left, Patricia hugged Maya, tentatively, asking permission first. I know I can never undo the harm I caused, she said quietly, but I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of the grace you've shown us. Maya nodded, not quite ready to say, I forgive you, but getting closer. 2 years later, Maya sat in her home office, editing the audio file that had changed everything. Not the cruel clips she'd played at Thanksgiving. Those were archived, locked away, but something new. She'd been invited to speak at a conference about standing up to microaggressions and documenting workplace discrimination. And she'd decided to share her story. Not for revenge, not even for justice anymore. But for every other daughter-in-law, every person of color, every outsider who'd been gaslit into thinking they were too sensitive, too dramatic, imagining things. She wanted them to know, you're not crazy, your experiences are valid. And sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is document the truth. Derek knocked on her office door. How's it going? Good, the presentation's almost done. He came to look over her shoulder at her slides. You're really doing this? Going public? The Walsh family name isn't in it. I changed all the details. But yes, I'm telling the story. My mom's going to hate it. Probably, Maya smiled. But you know what? That's not my problem anymore. I did nothing wrong. I stood up for myself. If she's uncomfortable with people knowing that, maybe she should have treated me better in the first place. Derek kissed the top of her head. I'm proud of you. Always have been. Even when I humiliated your family at Thanksgiving? Especially then. Maya saved her presentation and closed her laptop. Outside, the early November sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. She thought about that Thanksgiving 2 years ago. About walking into the Walsh house with a microphone hidden in her pocket, her hand shaking, her heart pounding. About the moment she'd press play and watch their perfect facade crumble. About choosing herself, finally, after years of making herself smaller. It had been terrifying, exhilarating, necessary. And she'd do it again in a heartbeat. Because some families needed to be carved out, cut away like rot from healthy wood, before anything new and good could grow. Maya had carved out the toxic parts of her life, and what remained was stronger, truer, more hers. That was worth more than any perfect family Thanksgiving could ever be.